Hey, I'm Rory Foster, your favorite medical Spanish teacher. If we haven't had a chance to have a class together or to work together at all, or if you're not a part of the Facebook group and you're just coming on to Common Ground International, I'm your new favorite medical Spanish teacher. I've been teaching Spanish since 1998 in the fall when I started graduate school in Spanish here in Boulder, Colorado, and I began teaching some undergraduate classes. And from that point on, and starting with medical Spanish in 2001 with local hospitals and colleges here in the Denver area, one of the topics that is most difficult for students, regardless of stage in learning Spanish, whether you're a high intermediate or advanced level speaker, or a beginner just trying to get a sense for the field of how you conjugate verbs and use different tenses. One of the most difficult topics is how to manage the past tenses in Spanish. There are two primary actors in the past tense in Spanish, and it's the preterite and imperfect verb tenses. And your first step with those is, well, just like with any tense, your first step is to know what kinds of verbs you need to be using to describe the different actions, ask the questions, hear what they're telling you. So first, just vocabulary building. Second is how do you conjugate the verbs into these two different tenses? And then the third step, the most difficult one, is especially when you have two different tenses in the past tense and you don't really think about how you're using the past tense in English, the third and most difficult step is choosing between preterite and imperfect. And so I invite you to take this course with me. It's 8 lessons and we go through regular conjugations, irregular conjugations of both tenses. We go through verbs that change meaning when you go from imperfect to the preterite, and we have a lesson on how to use these different verbs depending on context and acronyms to help you understand the differences between the two. And then simple practice. So with each lesson, you've got vocabulary lists to download, you've got practice activities, you've got quizzes to test your knowledge, and you can take your time. The course will never expire on you. I suggest that you do this 8-lesson course over at the longest like a month. So the lessons range from like a 10 to 15 minute video teaching from me right here in this office to possibly 30, 40 minutes teaching, depending on the topic and how complicated it is. But anyway, I invite you to join me. It's not an expensive course, but it is a super high value. So all you have to do to get started is to go ahead and click the button below, take this course. You'll go through the payment process. You'll create a user account on the website if you don't have it already, and then it will you'll be able to go right back here to this page and get started with lesson number 1. Have a great day.